Ooh, timed it just right. Do I have volume? Do I have volume? I have volume. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Joel, open. How's it going, Mr. Fixers? Nicholas, Sir Goodenough. Thank goodness we're all going to be okay. He's here now. All right, know your Joe. xLights, how's it going? Ooh, cool. Is that a picture of your house there? You got your light show on your little emblem there? Fantastic. How's everybody doing? It's been a while, hasn't it? I feel like it's been a few weeks. Between working and I was feeling horrible one weekend, and then we were out of town. It's just been a crazy busy few weeks. So, but we're here. So, hallelujah. Yay, happy Sunday and happy December. Hope you're all doing good. So, my main purpose today is to be available to answer questions. This is the time of year where you got a lot of people that are trying out LED stuff for the first time, and they're trying to get help. And I know we do a great job. The Pixel Heads are, as you know, absolutely fantastic. Provide amazing support for anybody who wants to come in and try and learn. But just in case your questions haven't been answered, that's what I'm here for today. So we'll try and get some questions answered. Patreon people and YouTube membership folks, we'll give them first crack if they have issues. I do have a few things that I've been putting off because I haven't been around to go over with you guys or to kind of present a little bit. I've been a little bit slacking in some of my, people say, hey, would you talk about this on your stream, for me, like to help out with people trying to get information out about their projects or their things. And I say, yeah, sure. That's great. I like that idea. I like that thing you're doing. I'll talk about it. And then, months go by and I don't get to it. So quickly run over how to run 2 channels on the original Did Uno. Absolutely, Mr. Fixers. For you, anything. All right. So Did you know 2 channels? What version of WLED are you running? That's will be the first question. All right. Hey, Alan. All right, let's try this. Let me look something up here. Before we answer Mr. Fixer's question, let me just get this thing out of the way. So, fella named Marco Carvalho has written a book about Home Assistant, and he sent me one, and I looked at it, and I actually felt like it was pretty good. So let's talk about that for a second. Okay, so for those of you who are reading learners, right, and you want to read stuff, Marco has put together a book. And I got to say, he did a pretty good job. I haven't obviously read the whole thing, but I picked through a few things, and I felt like what he covers, like here's covering Tasmota, YAML stuff, a lot of stuff about automations and such. Here's creating automations, this whole chapter. It was actually laid out pretty good with pretty good explanations, good examples, like all the menus that you would go through in the UI or the YAML if you want to. So overall, like if you're a book learner and you want like a reference on your shelf, this is pretty good. Home Assistant's still changing. So, there's probably going to be some differences in this versus the Home Assistant version in a year or something like that. But if you're looking for something like this, Marco has the book and it is available. I'm trying to remember where it is. And they actually offered to give away 2 print copies and 4 ebooks. Wow. So if anybody is interested in this, we need to come up with a way to give away 2 copies of this book, 2 print copies of this book, and 4 ebooks, 4 versions of the ebook. Let me find, I thought they had a link. I think it's just on Amazon, actually. See if it has a link. Yep, there it is. So here's the link on Amazon. I'll just put that in here. And we'll go to it here just for a sec. So there you go. $40 paperback book, September 23. So fairly up to date as far as these things go. But yeah, like I said, Marco did a good job. So thank you, Marco, for doing something to, I mean, that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of work to put all that together. You got D1 minis and LED strips. You got a lot of stuff in here. So anyways, if you're interested in a book that as a reference for Home Assistant, you can keep on your shelf. There's one for you. Okay. All right. There. Like the stickers. Random, probably. We just put in, we could do random and just put in like whoever is interested, Out of date faster than YouTube videos for sure. Okay, let's back up for a second before we do the other things that I've got. Oh, Gers is here. Awesome. How's it going, John? So quickly go over how to run 2 channels on the original DrZzs. Okay, so Mr. Fixers, are you running an ESP8266 on your original DrZzs? Let me grab one real quick here. I should probably at some point do a giveaway or you pay for shipping and we send you stuff. Because look at this, I got controllers coming out the wazoo. This looks like an original. Yeah, this is an old one. Yeah, this is an old do-it-yourself one. This is one that you built. Is this what it's like? Is this what you have, Mr. Fixers? Do you have one that's old like this with an 8266 that you built yourself or that I built for you? It smells like burning components. That's not good. It says tested and working. It says tested and working. You'd love to have a box of these. These ones are all tested and working. I frequently get things back because sometimes the easiest thing to do with troubleshooting is just to say, just send it to me. I'll try and fix it. And if I can't fix it, I'll replace it, Is that a little better on the lighting? Yeah, it's not bad. Maybe a little better. All right. Okay, so let's do this. First of all, the plastic box is tested and working. All right, I think this is first thing we'll do is we will flash this thing with WLED 14 because my guess is that if this ESP8266 is working, it should be about the same though, Mr. Fixers. It should be about the same. Let's see if this thing's even working anymore. Okay, we've got a little blue light, so that's a good sign. Now, the interesting part here is going to be what is available on Quinn's website. I'm sure that what he's got here is going to be for the newer versions. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to use the older versions. If you wanted to do that, I put this in that little video I did a couple weeks ago. If you want to download the custom bin files for over-the-air flashing, you can find them here. Let's see. Are these all ESP32s though? They're probably all ESP32s, aren't they? These are going to all be ESP32s. This is my first year running lights on WLED building props. So glad I found the DrZzs products on your site. Thank you very much, Scott. I hope we're taking good care of you. How's it going, Fat Daddy? So you've got the 14, huh? Mr. Fixers, let me see if this one that I have is even running. You caught me a little off guard, so going back old school like this. Oh, look, this one seems to have the access point, so that's good. I'm looking at my phone, so you guys can't see it. Yeah, sure enough. To the controls. Let's see what version we're on here. So 11. Look at that. This is version 11. Oh boy. Okay, that's all right. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go update, security and updates. Over the air update. Download the latest binary. So what we're gonna need to do though, let's change this up a little bit. How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this? How do we want to do this if we don't have the 8266 version? Oh, I guess I got to go to the WLED GitHub. I got to do it the old way. Old way. All right, here it is. WLED 14 ESP8266 bin. So we're going to put that in our WLED Flash Easy folder. Okay. Now, this isn't going to let me flash it from here. I got to use the old flash. I don't want to. I guess I could do it over the air if I was connected through Wi-Fi on the phone, or on this computer. So I'll connect it to the network and then we'll do it that way. I'll put in my Wi-Fi credentials and then we'll do it that way. Okay, Wi-Fi settings. I'm going to put it, connect it to my network. All right. Now, that should be gone. And then once you've connected, hopefully connected it to the same network as the phone, then you can do the plus, discover lights, and let's see if it found a new one. There it is, 177, right there. Yay. Okay, so now we should be able to switch back over to the computer, go to that IP address, and yep, this is the one. Perfect. Now we can go here and do the over-the-air update. Now that I have the ability to upload from the computer and not from my phone. Okay. I wonder if this would have worked, but anyways. Well, this would have taken me to the site, right? I don't think it would have automatically, it wasn't going to automatically choose my version for me. All right. Flash Easy, WLED. 148266. Okay, open and update. If you have fingers, cross them. You like the Death Star back there behind me? That's the version 3 of the sphere that's still in discombobulation because I was playing around with different video input possibilities and I haven't finished. Who you fooling? It's for 3 years now, and I've perfected the magic smoke process. BFT fairy pixels for the indoor tree should be fun. Those are going to be very good, Brian. You'll be happy with those. BTF fairy pixels. I have some. I have a fair amount of them, actually. They're around. Oh, successfully updated the firmware. Hallelujah. Looky, looky. All right. Mr. Fixers. This looking familiar now? Okay. So now we go to the config and LED preferences, and this is where it matters, right here. Okay. So you should have GPIO 2, and then if I recall, which was the output for the second terminal on this? We're gonna have to go look at the old Quinn LED Dig Uno pinout. Old one. I am impressed, Mr. Fixers, that you still have an 8266 that's running. this. Oh, if you are looking for the Quinn V2 pinout guide, go here. So that's what we probably want. Yeah, 8266. Board. Oh, yes, L1C and L1D, because originally that was the idea, was it was data and clock. So what you should have by default is output number 1, which is L1D, the one next to the ground. Switch back and forth here. So L1D, you cannot see, but this is the ground terminal. The one next to it is L1D, and the one next to that is L1C. So what we need to do, we're going to leave this as the correct output. What we need is the output for L1C right here, which should be GPIO 1. GPIO 1. Okay. So we go back here. Now we're going to add, now we're going to add another output. They're going to be the same, WS28 something, 11 or 12 is fine. The GPIO is 1. And we'll say that there are 30 in that one as well. And that should do it. That should do it. So I think most likely, Mr. Fixers, this is what you needed to know. Is that true? Are you following along? What to choose, 14 or 15? Oh gosh. I'm going to go back and grab some of these questions. Do we still have the thing, the question answer, the question, you know, the tilde thing and the question piece? Probably not. It's my own fault for neglecting streaming for so long. But we could, at the time we had that little magic list, we could make lists of questions for folks. But okay, we're going to save this, and then we're going to have to connect some LEDs. Fortunately, I have LEDs everywhere. Thank you. That's answered what you needed to do. Okay, great. I'm not even gonna mess with it any further. We're gonna move on. So if you got what you need, Mr. Fixers, that makes me happy. And now I need to go in here to the config and the Wi-Fi setup, and I need to take this out because I don't want that anymore. And if I do that, then it should go back to the access point mode, and then I can put this back on this Dig Uno and throw it back in my tested and working kit for Armageddon or the apocalypse or something. Okay. Ooh, okay. Ask is working. Tilde question is working. Excellent. So Sir Goodenough has fixed it or made it so it works. So there you go. So if you want to ask a question, if you do the little tilde and then ask, space, and then your question, it will put it in a list for me. Can't be reached, which is fine because now it's doing the access point. So we're good here. We're good. Well done. Okay. Mission accomplished. Question number 1 answered. Ka-ching. Okay. All right. Now let's go back and, oh, here's a good one. xLights. xLights is asking, and I know this is kind of jumping in line because other people had asked other questions, but I'm going to jump to the question I know the answer to. xLights says, review syncing. I can't get 2 dig quads on my brother's house to stay synced. Here's probably what the issue is. Let me pull up 2. I know I have 47 was the one. 47 is one of them. And the other one is 55. These are just, I know my IP addresses in my house. Pretty sad. All right, so we got 55 and we got 47. Okay, these two. Can't tell the difference, but they're there. Here's what I've noticed. So first thing you do, in the config, go to sync interfaces and use these sync groups. Pick a sync group. Now, if it's your brother's house and he only has the 2, then you can just leave it on send receive on channel 1 or group 1. Okay. I've got these two are in a particular room and I don't want them syncing with everything else. I don't want the whole house to sync with this room, or when I put something on the outside of the house, I don't want it to sync with that room. So I chose group 3 because it was otherwise unoccupied. So both of these are in the sync interfaces set to group 3. You don't have to change the ports. The ports can stay the same. You just change it. You just set them both to group 3. Okay. So then we go back. And then the only other thing you have to do is make sure that sync is highlighted in both of them. Sync is highlighted in both of them. But what happens? All right, Off-Back Props, thank you very much for becoming a member. We're going to do something fun for you. What I've noticed, so thank you very much, Off-Back Props. What I've noticed is that if the board reboots, like it powers off and powers back on again, the sync does not stay activated by default. I think there's a way to change that so that it does stay activated when it restarts or when it reboots. But typically, if you are finding that your controllers that you want to sync are all of a sudden not syncing anymore, like, hey, I was syncing the other day and why is it not syncing now? Well, one of them probably rebooted for whatever reason, lost power, came back on. Oh, that was you, Off-Back Pops. I didn't know that was you. Yes, Michigan versus everybody. What probably happened was one of them rebooted, and when it did, the sync went away. If this is off like that, it's not going to sync anymore. And if you, these two controllers, unfortunately, that I just did this to are not in a reachable proximity to me, so I can't show you. But if you just turn the power off at the plug, unplug and plug them back in, then this will probably go away. Let's look for a moment, because I think that there's a way to get that to stay on by default, but I can't remember. Maybe not. No, if there was, it would be right here. Okay, so I thought there might have been, but apparently there's not. Yeah, maybe it's someplace else. If anybody knows about that, let me know. If you guys, if you know what I'm talking about. I thought that I had seen at somewhere a way to set the sync so that by default, when it powers off and powers on, that the sync is activated. But I could be totally wrong. I could just be making stuff up. Anyways, who was asking about that? xLights. So I think that's probably what's happening. So check next time you check his quads, see if one of them has turned the sync off. That's usually it. That's usually the reason behind it. All right. What are we fixing today? Subscribed. Of course he did, because he's amazing. All right. Let's move on to some other questions. I wonder if I can go to this tilde thing and see if it's working. Live stream questions. It is working. All right, there we go. All right, Geronimo Cruz. How's it going, my friend? All right, good. I was going to answer your question anyways. All right, I have 2 different colors on a 5-meter strip, while I set only one color in WLED app. For example, if I put blue, it will have a real blue on the first meter and a lighter blue on the remaining 4. And that's the same no matter what color you use. Is that true? What? Tell us what kind of strip it is. Is it a WS2812? Most likely is. I'm wondering about like how many LEDs are there on there. I'm thinking about power injections. Probably not it, but this is our differential diagnosis step, right? Where we think about all the possible things it could be, and then we'll start narrowing it down. Do you have segments set up? If you're running segments, it's possible that that the segments have got some different coloring to them. Do you have other strips to test? Could it be an LED strip problem? Is it very distinct? Is it right from one LED to the next that makes the change to lighter, or is it gradual? Like it just gradually becomes lighter? Does it get better if you run power to the far end of the strip? Or does it change if you turn the brightness down? Those are all things to think about and to figure it out. I have no segments. The power supply is enough with thick wires. It'd be 5-volt eco. Literally from one to the next, very distinct. That sounds to me like it's possibly an LED strip problem. Like maybe there's something wrong with that particular LED. Anything else, Geronimo, that you've got in your LED settings? Do you have, if you turn them off, they all turn off together? Turn them on, they all turn on together? If you have, I'm trying to think if there's where else anything could be messing up something like that. When it goes from one LED to the next, that's a pretty unique situation. If I low brightness very much, at some point the first meter shuts off while the rest still lights up. Boy, that sounds like a pixel problem, man. That sounds like if it's like one LED is fine and the next LED is not, and you turn the brightness down and some turn off and the others stay on, I feel like I have a problem with one LED that doesn't send the right data signal. That's what it's feeling like to me too, Geronimo. And unfortunately, the only solution for that is to try and cut out that pixel that's bad, that LED that's bad, or bypass it. If it's a strip that you can access the little copper pads to, sometimes you can get some jumper wires and you can go beyond that LED that's bad and just use jumper wires on the copper pad to sort of test it beyond that. Yeah, I'm wondering if you got a bad LED. And then the way to change it, you can also cut it out. Cut out the LED and solder the strip back together. That's probably the ultimate best way to fix it. I've had to do that. In fact, I have to do it again soon outside because I have some really old IP65 strips. Yeah, do the tilde question, Alan. Do the tilde question. Throw it in there. Yep. What I've found too, and Sir Goodenough can verify this, or some others too, that when you're going to replace it, replace the one you think is bad and the one before it, because it may be the data that's leaving the one before it that's bad. So if you're going to cut out and resplice, cut out two, the one that's bad and the one before it. So to access it, I need to redo some things. I want confirmations on my thoughts. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, Geronimo, when I'm looking at it, when I'm based on what you're saying, the only other thing I would test, and I think it sounds like you probably already got this figured out, just test the voltage at the far end and just make sure you're still in the ballpark of 5 volts. You probably are. But just to make sure, I really don't think that's it. I think, unfortunately, if you're seeing a distinct change from one LED to the next, that something's bad there. Something's just bad. All right. Good job. Okay, we're going to move on because, boy, we got the questions. They're flowing. All right, good. DS. I'm a beginner. Would like to find a resource for setting up some permanent landscape LEDs that I could also use in a holiday display. So what you want is like floodlights. 3.6 volts at the end. That's probably okay still. I think if it was really a voltage problem, then you wouldn't have the other ones being brighter. You would have them being dimmer, right? And you may even have like if you turn them on white, the ones towards the end start to get orange and red, and then they fade out. So if that's not happening, it's probably not voltage. So I think unfortunately you're probably right. You probably have a bad one. DS, I would say the pixel heads can give you some recommendation on RGB floodlights. And I think that's what you want. I think what you want probably is RGB floodlights that you can stick in the ground, point at your bushes or whatever things in your landscape you want to highlight. And then you can control those in some way that they could later be incorporated into your holiday light display. So put them on a Did You Know or a quad or something like that. Or an output from one of those, and you could put other things on the other outputs, but that output could just do your floods. And basically each flood just acts like a single pixel, if I understand right. I don't have floods, but probably each flood would act like a single pixel. They would just be brighter, right? But they could be different colors, but one flood would be the same color, would all be the same color. All right. So get some floods, go to the pixel heads. They've got some recommendations. I don't know who does good RGB floods because I don't have any, but the pixel heads would tell you for sure. Okay. And then again, the controller, any of these controllers that we talk about, Did You Know, Did Quad, Did Octa, would all work. Probably not the Did To Go because the floods are probably not going to be 5 volts. All right. We're cranking through these. Oh, wait, let's see if I can check them off, right? Check. If I hit the check mark, does that mean that it goes away? Oh, you don't know what the pixel heads are? Oh, somebody shoot him the pixel head link. The pixel heads are the dudes in Discord, on the Discord, the DrZzs Discord channel that are LED fanatics. And they're very smart and they've got lots of resources for information and stuff. So if you go to Discord, let's see, we're going to go to Discord. Go to Discord, and it's this LED channel right here. This is where the pixel heads hang out. So you go in here and you say, recommendation. I don't know how to spell. Oh my gosh. Fat fingered morning. Jeez. PZ floods. Joel says PZ floods. Thanks, Joel. PZ floods. Okay. There you have it. All right, let's go back to these questions. This is going really good. And then I do need to remember to plug some of these other things that I told people I would plug for them. So after the next question, I'll take 2 minutes and talk about another LED, like holiday LED sort of vendor project, kind of a guy who's got something really cool that I think some people would like. All right. DS, check. Know Your Joe. What does the micro SD card on the Dig Octa do? Just got ours last week from y'all. What show player setup do you recommend? This is my first time doing this. Excellent. So Know Your Joe. The SD card. So WLED. Sorry, let's back up. The Dig Octa ships with WLED, and that should cover you for your basic stuff getting started. You shouldn't need to change it. There is a different firmware which can be used on these devices. That's called ES Pixel Stick. And ES Pixel Stick, I guess I keep saying I need to check it out. Oh, look at that. ES Pixel Stick on the Dig Octa. ES Pixel Stick, the thing about ES Pixel Stick is it does make use of the SD card slot. WLED does not. The reason to use the SD card slot is if that controller is doing a big show, like a big xLights show, and the LED information is a lot and it changes fast and such, it's much better if the information for the show, for the display of what's happening, is stored on the SD card on the device, because it can get access to it really fast. The alternative, if you don't use the SD card, is it all comes over the network, which in most cases is fine, but can introduce some lag or delay or skipping and things like that. If you're just using effects, if all you want for now is to just put different colors on your house at different times and make them, they can still change and stuff, but if they're not, you know, bouncing to the music and really synced in a bunch of different ways, then WLED will be fine. In fact, if WLED would probably still be fine if you're using, if you have the big show and you're using xLights and making a big sequence and show. It's just that the information will have to be transferred over the network to your octa if you're using WLED as the firmware on the octa. If you change it to ES Pixel Stick, then you can store that information on the SD card. So my recommendation, after all that hot air, my recommendation is, if you are just getting started, stick with WLED. Stick with WLED, get your lights up, get your octa set up, and just program different lights to come on at different times and do you know, sort of generic red and green for Christmas, or different blinking color Christmas, or whatever. Do those things instead of trying to do a big show. Once you get to the point where you're doing a big show and you've got other props, or you've got lots of lights on windows and garage door and all that, and you're using xLights and you're syncing it to a song, and you're using you know, probably a different controller like a Falcon or something like that, then experiment with sending that information to your octa with WLED and see if it keeps up. If it does, then great, you don't have to change anything. If you notice lag and if you notice staggering or problems, then switch it to ES Pixel Stick. But for now, to get started, stick with WLED on your octa, and you should be good. Okay, and that's what the SD card does. Does that answer your question? Excellent. Alan Robertson says, "This is my question." Check. Okay. Oh, that was the question. So let me show you this other thing I got here real quick. Let's see what we got here. So a fella contacted me named Craig, and he basically developed or kind of did his own re-engineer of the what's their name? Jellyfish, of the jellyfish style LEDs and track. Okay, and this is it. Now, if you don't know what jellyfish is, I hate to advertise for them specifically, or for trim lights or some of these, but they're more of these, I guess you would call them architectural lights. Yeah. Come on. Kind of look like the lights are spaced out a lot more, and they're bigger lights. So they have this kind of a look instead of the closer together sort of pixel look that we have. These are going to cost you thousands of dollars, okay? Thousands. These are going to be probably $30+ per foot to buy jellyfish and have them come put it up on your house. Craig's lights are called Huckleberry. Huckleberry Lighting, Utah. Excuse me. Basically, this is the jellyfish style stuff to do it yourself. Now, I don't know that Craig has like these in stock and stuff. He's just getting this all started. And he asked me if we wanted to do it along with Permatrack, and I don't know that we have the extra capacity to take on something else, but I did tell Craig that if there's people out there that want this kind of a light, with a puck, and they're like a foot plus or about a foot apart. They're 48 volts. You don't ever have to do any injections. Aluminum channel. So if you want this kind of a thing, check out Huckleberry Lighting and talk to Craig about getting it for yourself, for your kits. It does run. I'm going to open the power box here. He does run this all on an ESP32 that runs WLED, and he's got a Meanwell power supply. This is his own proprietary little box to distribute the stuff from the ESP32. Relay to turn off the power here. That's this guy. So well done box, and WLED. And if you or your significant other are dead set on this style of lighting, I don't sell this, so this really isn't competing with me. If this is what you want, you can get it from Craig and Huckleberry Lighting. Okay, so there you go. Pop in some links. Yeah, let me pop in some links. All right, huckleberrylighting.com. And I haven't done it yet, but Craig was going to set up an affiliate thing for me. Not that it's not a huge deal at the moment, but anyways, thanks, Craig. I think he did a really good thing. I think he's built a really good product. He's a really good guy. I like that it's a DIY thing. I like that it's WLED. So, and it's local here in Utah. So if you're interested, get a hold of Craig, and we'll go from there. Sounds good? Sounds good. Okay. Boo. Boo. Excellent. Back to answering questions. All right, here we go. That's my question. How can I run multiple areas to LEDs on the same ESP home module running on the Quinless and Deca? Oh my gosh. I don't know what the Quinless and Deca is. Oh, it's an analog. Ooh, that's an analog controller. Peter PC, that's Quindor's not here. Quindor would be able to tell you more about his analog controllers. I know he's got a new analog controller coming out, which my guess is it's probably going to take the place of this. ESP32 powered, 10 channel, Wi-Fi connected, PWM LED dimmer. So if it's an ESP home, you probably, you know what? So what you're going to have to do is like figure out what's in the sketch and modify it, right? Does he give the sketch here? ESP home sample configuration. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is probably where the answer to your question is. Oh, right here. Who are we talking to here? Who is this question for? Peter PC. All right, Peter, how can I set multiple areas to LEDs? Multiple areas. Oh, you mean areas like for Home Assistant? Oh, that I don't know. That might be an automation or something. Doggone it. YouTube didn't give you a notification, stinker? Thank you, Sir Good Enough. I will get an affiliate link. I thought I made it, but too many things going on at the same time. Ooh, video for the analog board. Oh, Sir Good Enough, you are the man. You are the man. That's a great question. I'm sorry, Peter. I'm going to have to say I don't know. I would ask Quindor in his Discord. If you change one, they all change area. I don't even know how these are controlled necessarily. I wonder if potentially, let's see, that's a switch. Is there a way to set the area in here? So, oh, you know what? In Home Assistant, let's think about this. So assuming, let's see, Peter. Yeah, the Dig2Go analog. That's the new one that's coming. Hey, man, I love the way you explain and talk about, cool. Glad you're joining Discord. Awesome, Wolfie. Wolfless. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's good to get good feedback. I appreciate that. All right. So back to Peter for a second. So in Home Assistant, I assume when you do this configuration like this, you end up with separate lights, separate light entities. Is that true? When you go to generators running up there at the Hubbard house because the solar panels are covered in snow. You end up with different lights, different light entities, I would assume. Tell me if I'm wrong. If that's the case, you should be able to like find like take a light entity and so let's like, I'll have light matrix 3. Should be able to go here, and here there should be a way to, I wonder if you can change the area here. Oh yeah, here it is. Use device area. You see this, Peter? Use device area. You can change the device area in the device settings. So the trick might be, if it's one device, if Home Assistant sees your whole analog controller as one device, you may not be able to distinguish each light entity as in a different area. So I think if you want to do that, I'll ask in the Home Assistant Discord as well, but I think that's the trick, is can you change? See, because this is one whole device, and that whole device, I don't know. I'll look about, let's think about this for another minute, and then I'll have to move on because I don't know the answer. Home Assistant entities in the same device in different areas. This is from January of 21, so that's not going to really probably help us. How to assign a device to an area. Can I assign individual entities from one device to different areas? Here you go. This is from 2020, so it may have changed. Oh, this one's about Google Assistant somehow. Nope. Using multiple areas for a single entity or device. Well, I think that's the key. And I apologize, Peter, that I don't have that answer for you. So you win this time. You've bested me. Oh, okay. Well, I hope you can get the answer there, Peter. I'm sorry I don't have a better solution for you, but I think that's where you're running into issues. Okay, Know Your Joe again about the SD card. Thanks. Also, what was show player setup? What show player setup? So if by show player you mean, you know, how do you create the show? xLights is the one you want. xLights. Nope, that's not xLights. This is xLights. xLights.org. Sorry, Peter, but I think we've got you on the right track, at least. I think that's what you need to do. Because it's all one ESP Home Sketch, it's probably all considered one device by Home Assistant. And because it's one device, it's getting one area. But what you want is to take each entity and create and put it in its own area. So hopefully that at least gets you on the right track, my friend. Okay, Bruno says WLED losing presets and playlists. This comes up with the pixel heads a bit, and I think it's probably a corruption issue. And the solution, the first thing to try is, first, you can save your presets and your playlists. So the first thing I'd recommend is do that, save them. So you've got them here. If you go to config, Is it security and updates? I think security and updates. Yep. You can back up presets. So do that. That way, once you've made them, back them up. Back them up so that if they disappear, all you have to do is reload them. You don't have to recreate them. So that's step one. But the solution for getting them to not disappear in the first place, I believe, is going to require a reinstall of WLED. At least that's the first thing to try. It could be that there's something, some microscopic short circuit in the brain of the ESP32 that you're using or whatever. Hopefully that's what you're using. That's possible too. That would be the last resort because that would require a new device. They disappear after creating them. So right after you create them, they disappear. So you've got them over here and they just disappear, huh? They don't save. That's interesting. Well, then I would definitely say the thing to try is a reflash. Try a reflash of the device. Where does the backup store the presets? Is it only in desktop mode? Good question, xLights. If I think you can, store them on your phone, but I don't know for sure. Let's see. I don't know where they would store on your phone. Security and updates. Let's do backup presets. Oh, no, it just gives you so if you do it on your phone, it just gives you, you can't see it. It just gives you basically a big text file. So yeah, you probably got to do it in desktop mode to get it. I mean, you could copy this. So if you go to config, security and updates, if you couldn't use desktop mode, first priority is use desktop mode, right? And save it to a computer. But if you can't do that, then you do the backup presets and it's going to give you this. And then you're just going to have to select all, copy it, and then paste it into a document or a note or something. So I copied all that. So now I'm going to go to just like notes and I'm going to make a new note and I'm going to paste it. All right. So there's my presets backed up. Okay. In a note. So not the most elegant solution, but there you go for that part, for what it's worth. All right. I see. Okay. Let me go back to the questions for a second. This feels good. This feels like the old days where I was trying to do 6 things at once on the stream and I could never keep everything straight. So back to Bruno for just the last second. Bruno, I think the thing to do, if you can't get your, if you can't even get the presets to save, so like let's make a preset here. We'll pick something. We'll turn these on. We'll do a peak. We'll do, I don't have any idea, something that looks good. Color winkles. We always need color winkles, right? Oh, there's no color winkles. There they go. Color winkles. Okay, great. So we're doing color winkles. So we're going to save a preset. So we go plus preset and then leave this all the same. Color winkles, save to ID. I'm going to save it to ID number 4. Oops. And save. So that doesn't happen for you. That just goes poof and disappears. If that's the case, then I would say you need to reflash. And I would do a hard reflash. I would go to You know, I don't know what device you have, but I would go to the Quinn, assuming you have a Quinn LED device. I would go to this page, pick which device you have, plug the device into the computer with a USB cord, and then reflash it and see if that helps. If that doesn't help, then you may need a different ESP32. If you got it from me, contact me about it, and we'll see if that's the solution. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, so know your Joe. By show player, I meant use your computer to play the show that was created in xLights, or use another device to load the show onto to free up your computer. If another device, which one? Excellent question, Joe. And my favorites are the Culp boards. So I do have a show device. You're very welcome, Bruno. You're very welcome. Sorry, I didn't have a better answer for you, but I hope that works. So I have a K32 is what I'm using now. So, I mean, it just depends. It doesn't even look like he has controllers. Here we go. This is what I have. So this is what I have. So this connects to your network, and it has an SD card on the Beagle Bone that's underneath there. And you do xLights on your computer, and then you export it to the Culp player. And then the Culp player has a website, just a URL that you go to with whatever the IP address is that your network gives it. And it shows a web interface, and you can pick your sequences, and you just hit play and it plays. So this is what I use. This is a lot of outputs, but that's good, right? I mean, this is probably one that you won't grow out of. You can have multiples, so it depends on where, how your stuff is laid out. It doesn't hurt to have, if you wanted to start with something like this, that's a bit less expensive, a K8. I think that's about the smallest. There might be a 4, but there's 8, 16, 32, and I guess there's even a 64 now, which is amazing. Oh my gosh, there's even a 128. Are you kidding me? What? Oh no, that's a different way of outputting. That's different. So anyways, there you go. Culp. Culps are the ones I like. Culps are the ones I like. Falcon is another one. Falcon Christmas. Oh, not the forum. Is this the... No, not the forum. Falcon LED controller. Pixel Controller is the website. Pixelcontroller.com. So this is it. Similar thing to the Culp. Same functions. I have not actually used the Falcon. I've just used Culp, and I've been very happy with it. So I haven't seen a reason to change. Okay. So there you go. Excellent. Sweet. Okay. Give me the news. I got a bad case of pixelitis blues. Oh. Ooh, Genius controllers are out there now too. Ooh, I haven't heard of those, Michael. Let's check that out. And if you've been asking questions, if you have a question you want to ask, put a little tilde, ask, the word ask, space, and then your question. And then it will go in a queue for me, and I can see it and I can answer them in order. Because sometimes people ask questions and it's in the chat and I'm not paying attention and it scrolls by and I never see it again. So, but also if you just ask a difficult question, I may just skip it. Okay. Ooh, Genius controller. So these mount with the power supplies. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. Oh, Clicket's version 2. Oh, yeah. So who makes these? XLights makes these. I feel like, oh, XLights. Those are the guys that make the Clickets. That's right. Or that started the Clickets. These look like they're all renderings. Do these exist? So this looks like it'd be a 16. Kind of like the clips on there. I like that it has the power supplies. New Clever Locks connectors. It's nice. You don't need a screwdriver. What's the brains of this thing? It's got a little screen. I assume this is the brain. It's an ESP32 probably. Interesting. Huh. Very cool. Hadn't seen that. Okay, well, there you go. There's another one. I use Culp. That's what I use. That's what I've been very happy with. I think I've had between the sphere, well, between the different versions of the sphere and my own house, I've used like 4 different Culp boards and been very happy with them. All right, what do we got? I think we got a new question. Oh, we got a couple new questions. Here we go. Version 13 had a police effect and 14 doesn't. Is there a way to get other effects from previous versions? Good question, dogs. I don't think you can go back and get the other effects, but what you'll have to do is create the other effects. And unfortunately, I don't know. Oops. Knowledge. We want to go to the. I'm going to go and see all the effects. It used to be a list, yeah. And let's see if there. Sometimes they don't update the website super fast, so you might get to see it. Aha! So here, though, this was some effects get retired, but when they can be recreated with newer, more general effects, and that's exactly what you're saying. So what has happened? What like Candy Cane has disappeared because Candy Cane is Chase 2 with red and white. So the reason that Police has disappeared is because it can be replaced with 2 dot. So if you want Police, the effect, the old effect, you go use this effect 2 dot. Let's go in here, and we'll go with. We'll find 2 dot. We'll go 2 dots. And we'll make our colors red and blue. Whoops. Red and blue. And this doesn't have very many LEDs. I think this thing has like, well, I don't know what it has. 20. So that's why it looks, it's kind of big. But so there you go. And then you can just save that as Police. So I'm going to do that. Preset, Police. We're going to save it as number 9. As in 911. Okay. Sweet. So that's a good page for reference. This is anything that has been removed, effects that have been removed from WLED. It's because they are replaceable by other things. And here's a list. And my guess is this list may grow. Oh, and look at retired after version 13, retired after version 12, etc. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Ka-ching. Winning. All right. Oh, we got good questions. We got more good questions. Excelente. All right, let's see. Christopher McAfee. By the way, I don't want your virus thing. Okay, I don't want it. All right. Would you happen to know if WLED can use DMX input? I'm trying to run WLED from a MIDI launch pad using an ESP32. Ugh, I do not know. Oh my gosh, I don't know. Would you happen to know if WLED can use DMX input? I don't know. Let's just, I would assume that you've probably already tried to do this. Input to WLED. I would again ask the pixel heads. They might know. I mean, it could do DMX output, but I don't know about input. I'm not exactly sure how that would work. I have not messed with DMX at all. So while I just rolled the critical hit on this particular one, I have failed because I do not know the answer for you, my friend. I'm sorry. But I would say, Christopher, go to the pixel heads unless there's somebody here that can answer it. All right. We're going to Bavarian Normie Pleb. Bavarian Normie Pleb. A Bavarian Normie Pleb asks, are DMX 5-pin to USB-C cables standardized? I'm starting at 0 and would like to use DMX to control Atom Cube lights that have a USB-C port for DMX controls. What software would you recommend? I wish I knew. I don't know anything about DMX, as I was unfortunately just saying. So we are really... you can, I know that there are pixel heads that know some stuff about DMX. I know DMX is an older, I was just reading about it for the first time the other day, just out of curiosity, and I didn't understand much. So I'm going to move on. Sorry. I want to try something real quick. Take a break from the questions for 1 second because I want to try to see my backyard camera. DMX needs software conversion to use USB. Oh, software conversion to USB. Failed. It might not be getting. Battery's dying. Ah, poo. Fine, never mind. Okay, scratch that. All right, we're going on to the next question. New WLED user here. Hello, Kevin. What are some use cases for the SD card slot on the Quinn LED boards? So there's only really one right now, and that is, well, for WLED, none, because WLED does not support the SD card slot at this time. I don't even think it does with the, there's like a Moonlight, or what was it called? There's a certain a branch of WLED that basically incorporates like every developmental, experimental user mod add-on kind of thing for WLED. And it's called, I think it's called like Moon something. So there may be something in there. I don't know anything about that. The point of the SD card is if you wanted to use your Quinn LED controller, which if it's an SD card, then really it's the Octa, I think is the only one, right? Oh, or there's the EA Plus, right? The EA Plus devices. The EA Plus is an ESP32 that has more channels, a touch switch, maybe a microphone, maybe an infrared receiver, and maybe an SD card slot. Depends which version you get. The reason for the SD card is if you're going to use the ES Pixel Stick firmware instead of WLED. So if you, and then I said this at the beginning, for somebody else asked a similar question. The reason to use the SD card is it's faster for the controller to get the information about what it's supposed to do with the lights. If all you do is tell it play this file and the file's on the SD card, that saves a lot of time as far as network traffic. If the alternative to that is your main controller, your show controller, like your Culp or your whatever, is sending all that information over a network connection. And depending on how fast your stuff is transitioning or what you're asking the controller to do with the lights, you can see problems if you're doing it over the network because lag, because whatever, staggering, etc. With the SD card, it's right there on the device. All the network is doing is saying play that file, and it plays it. But that does not work with WLED firmware, only with ES Pixel Stick firmware for now. There you go. Bum, ba, da, bum. Hope that helps you, Kevin. Doug Williams asks, installed my first 2D matrix, bing, gone through the effects. What's next to take it up a level? You can't even be satisfied. Doug, you can't even be satisfied for like 1 minute. No, I know, we're all the same way. As soon as we do something, we're like, okay, that was awesome. Let's do it better, right? The scrolling text, how do you change the text? Okay. I did a stream a while back about the scrolling text. In fact, when we did that, we actually did it and made it so you could type text into a box in Home Assistant and it would update your matrix with that scrolling text. Let's show you that part, Doug. All right, I will go to one of my matrices. Let's close some of these things. We don't need all this open. All right, one of my matrices here. I don't remember which ones. So we're going to look it up here. By the way, this is a good time for this. This is a pro tip right here, okay? This is a pro tip. Some of you may have noticed when you go to WLED app, at least on iPhone, this may not be a problem for you superior Android users, but on iPhone, the app gets a little janky. Look at that. It gets like wonky, okay? It's like, where are all my effects? Like it's all messed up. Like what the heck is going on? You know, this sucks, right? True. I don't know why this is. I don't know what fixes it, but I do know the workaround for it. And that is, it gives you your IP address right here. 192.168.1.63. In this case, let's pick a matrix. We're going to do this matrix here. 192.168.1.191. That's the IP address. So instead of going here and going to effects and dealing with all this, I am going to just go to my browser on my phone, and I'm going to put in that IP address. Okay, I'm going to go to that IP address, and then I'm going to just make a bookmark. Boop. That little guy. And I'm going to add to home screen. Okay. Boop. Add to home screen. I'm just going to call it matrix, whatever. There. Now it's here. And when I click it here and it goes through the browser instead of through the WLED app, when I go to the effects page, it all looks normal. It looks better. So that's what I've been doing so that I don't have to deal with that page where things are all messed up. Okay. So there you go. Pro tip. Ba-da-ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. Now let's do it on the PC because it's just easier to see everything all at once. 191. All right. You asked about how do you do the scrolling text. Okay. Doug, do you have the audio reactive stuff on yours? You should, I hope. All right, we're going to turn this on. Okay, and right now it's on. My matrix is on. Oh, it's because it's this. My matrix is right now on. Can't hardly see it. Must not be very bright. There you go. My matrix is on this effect here. Okay, so when I talk, it does this. All right. Back to, I'm going to close the peak. This is how you change the what you want it to say. So you go to the scrolling text effect. Scrolling. I could just search for it, but I want to do it the hard way. Scrolling text. Boink. And then if we do peak, it's saying, I'm going to turn it up. It's saying this Christmas. I don't know why it's saying this Christmas, but it is. If I want to change what it says, I just change the name of the segment. It's not the most elegant solution, but right now it's what we have and it works. So we change this to, let's see, we just change it to ho, ho, ho. And we save it by hitting the check mark. And now, if we look at the peak, it says ho, ho, ho. That's like that. So when you're on the scrolling text, you change the name of the segment, and that whatever you put the name in is what shows up. Okay. Now there are settings on the scrolling text. Yeah, down here, there's some good settings. Like, do you want it to have a trail? How fast do you want it to scroll? You want to scroll by fast or slow? Y offset will make it go up or down in your matrix, depending on how big your matrix is. You can make your font size bigger or smaller, and you can rotate it if it's you need it horizontal versus vertical versus whatever. Okay. So there you go. I like that matrices. Matrices are awesome. The other thing you can do, you want to go to the next level there, Doug. You want to go to the next level. What you do is you get multiple matrices and put them all together. All right. Good times, good times. Where we at? Oh, another one from Doug. Oh, wait. Oh, it looks like that's the same question. Okay, good. We'll skip that one. Another one from Dirk Phelps. Thank you, Sir Goodenough, for doing all this, by the way. You guys, big thanks to Sir Goodenough because he's taken a lot of the questions that people asked and he's grabbed them and put them in the format for me so I can see them. So thank you, sir. Appreciate you, as always. What do you want for Christmas, by the way? I got, so the Pixel Heads, if you guys if you hadn't seen, Pixel Heads have been sharing their Christmas presents I got for them. I wanted to get them Christmas presents so that they could wear them while they were putting up their lights and stuff. So last year we did hoodies and they came out really bad and all the stuff peeled off. This year we did beanies and it's embroidered, so it's not going anywhere. So there you go. If you want a Pixel Head beanie, that's easy. I got those. But you do specialized stuff for me, so you get specialness. All right, Dirk Phelps. The Dig Quad photo in your store is an older version. Do I get the newest version when I order? Yes, you do, and I apologize. Updating the pictures is so far down on the priority list. My guess is it will never happen. But yes, everything that I have, unless you make a special arrangement with me and you want one of these out of my tested and working box, those are the only place where the older ones exist anymore. Okay. Lawrence Kibler. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of pixelitis blues. You got a link for for your cheaters? What do you mean, for Michigan? I don't know. I don't know if I have a. Oh, you mean you want to buy one of my shirts? One of these shirts? They're not mine. This is a Sir Goodenough question. Are we going to go over topics for the 12 streams? We can. Let's go over topics for the 12 streams. I think. The 12 streams, I've thought about this, and I was actually talking to Mark, who, I don't remember the name of his channel off the top of my head, but he makes Home Assistant videos, and we were on the creator chat with the new Home Assistant release, and he was considering doing some streams at Christmas time, and I said, how about we split the 12 streams? How about like you do 6 and I do 6, and then we find somebody else, and then each of us do 4, because doing 12 streams, as last year and even the year before that, it got pretty tight to try and squeeze in 12 streams. So it is such a tradition that it would be a shame at this point to stop doing it. I think this will be our 5th or maybe even 6th year. Did we do it in 2017? I don't think we did it in 2017. So we did 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. This is our 6th year of the 12 streams of Christmas. So I don't think I can stop. So let's do it. What we will do is they will be at crazy times. Maybe they'll be late at night. Maybe they'll be in the morning. Maybe I'll do 2 in a day when I have a day off. And they may only be short. And they may be a half hour, maybe an hour, probably at the most. You were waiting for that? You figured? Oh, you need glasses? Oh, how's the weather down south? Oh, Dirk, I didn't know you were there. It is snowing. Yep. Actually, it's raining. So the snow is starting to melt. But it's covered. It's covered. You're waiting for the time when I would say, when are we going to stop doing the 12 streams? Is that what you're waiting for? All right. So the topics of the 12 streams, let's have people shoot them out, whatever kind of things. I'm sure a lot of them will be LED, but we also need some other stuff. Like we need Home Assistant stuff. I love different things too. Gers I know is here. He's probably still working in his office there on the video for the version 2 of the Atlas, of the LED sphere. So version 2 is built. It's working great. We've got our videos scripted out and we're working on putting it together. So both of us work full time. We are not the best at making videos, but we are working on it. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but that's our priority, is to get that sucker out. Fix our magic cubes together. That's a good idea. My magic cube has not moved in a long time. I haven't used it. I would still love to make it like a dice. You roll the dice and like something happens. That would be really fun. For the time being, we work full time until we can do YouTube and crazy projects full time. That's the goal. The goal is to be able to make crazy things like the LED sphere as a career. We'll see. That's the plan. That's the goal. Yeah, well, let's start making a list. I wanted a link for your glasses. The cheaters. Oh, these are the cheaters. You wanted a link for these cheaters. Oh, I thought you were talking about, I thought you were making like a joke about Michigan being, cheating at football. Yeah, let's see. We can look at, let's look over here at the orders so we don't spoil anybody's Christmas presents. These particular cheaters I got from Amazon in like a 5-pack, and I love them. They're actually quite good. Search all orders. Here we go. These are the ones. These are, well, you can pick a different, you can pick your different, whatever focal thing or, whatever your correction power is. I'm retired. I still don't have time to do videos. Build a real speaker and mic for voice. Yes, off back pops. So let me preempt a little bit the next announcements for Home Assistant. I won't spoil too much, but obviously it's been the year of the voice, and they've pretty well completed everything they set out to do to make it so we could make our own locally controlled Home Assistant connected voice assistants, and it's been working very well. What they're going to do now is they want to, they're going to have a contest to see who can create awesome voice assistants. So you can use whatever hardware you want. And that's the goal, right? Like I know on one of the demos, one of the guys, I can't remember which guy it was, I don't remember which one of the Home Assistant guys had a Star Wars robot, and his voice assistant was inside that. So his speaker and his microphone and everything was in there, and he just had 3D printed it and painted it and everything and made it look like a little robot. So I promised them that I would enter as well into the Home Assistant voice creation contest. So, and, oh, you want to show a little bit of animatronics? You want to see it? Oh, yeah, you can show. Let's do that for this 12 streams, John. Let's do that for the 12 streams for sure. So yes, let's do that. And we can work on that as part of the 12 streams as well. I'm going to throw another link in here for glasses because I think these are important as well. These I use when I'm outside working on like the car and stuff. Like if I'm outside with Dawson and we're working on the Chevelle or something, these are actually safety glasses with a little reader bit at the bottom. So they have a little thing just at the bottom that has the reader power. And I have 2 pairs of these and I love them because they keep all the dirt and the crap out of my eyes, but I can still, see. All right. Add to favorite things list product page. Good idea. Yes, we should do that. I'll remember to do that. Your old ears cannot hear the M5 stack. Yeah. It's all about getting an extra speaker for sure. So we'll have to work on that. I know I've worked on it and I've gotten a couple of different amplifier boards that work pretty well. And that's what you need when you're doing that, because you're right, the M5 stack. There's actually an M5. If you go to, look at this. This is something I think is ESP Home. If you go to the ESP Home page, there's a page for projects. Down here somewhere, lights, magnetics, motions, thermocouple, core. There's projects. Home Assistant companion components, cookbook. Is it here? Water leak detector. Where'd it go? there's a projects page here with ESP Home, and I don't know where it is exactly. But basically the M5 stack, there's a version there. There's a device that they have that has a screen on it. And one of the latest things that Home Assistant has done, not the ink. It's not the ink one. It's a different one. Maybe it's this. No, it's not that either. Maybe it's this. I think it's this one. Not 100%, but anyways, they have a little screen like this, and something now that's been incorporated. This is a little bit of a spoiler. With the Home Assistant voice, you can make a face on this, and it will move its eyes around. It'll open and close its mouth, as it's talking to you. And when you tell it something, it'll like think or something. And those, as everything is, those faces and the little things in there, they're completely customizable. You just pick the GIF or the PNG or whatever file you want it to show when it's thinking or when it's talking or whatever, and it'll do it. So that's kind of where that idea of let's have a contest to see what cool ESP home things we can make. I'm running out of gas. But yeah, the voice assistant, that's it. All right. Answering a few more questions here. I'm trying to make an A4 light box 5-volt LED white light. Can't seem to find anything that's really bright and to run off 5 volts. Any tips? A4 light box. I don't know what an A4 light box is. It's an A4 light box, guys. That's the size of it. That's the size of the box. Put a matrix underneath it. The page didn't work. Oh, that link. We'll show we can do the animatronic still, John. I don't know. It's really bright. That's 5 volts. I mean, I would just go to AliExpress and poke around. Go to AliExpress and poke around for just 5-volt LED strips. Or Dr. Pepper is right. Oh boy. We're starting to get deep into the questions I can't answer. I don't know anything about A4 light boxes. About the did you know the other day, first year running lights. Props. So glad to found the did you know your site. Thank you very much, Scott. Appreciate it. Apple HomeKit. Yeah. Say what? Installed Apple HomeKit with Apple TV's newest version using Casa controllers. Did Apple update? Constant no response. The updating message on the icons, it's almost unusable. Any ideas? You know what a lot of these guys are going to say, Know Your Joe, is don't use Apple TV. That's probably what they're going to say. Oh, the page didn't work. Oh, that old thing. Yeah, that page thing. We need to fix that again, huh? Put that on the list. Oh, that reminds me. Well, another thing for the list, for those of you that have a Stream Deck, the Elgato Stream Deck. And I know that one of the Home Assistant guys did a video about this a while back. There is a Home Assistant app for the Elgato Stream Deck. I would not go here and buy one of these. I would go to eBay because there's probably a lot of people that have bought them and then aren't using them. Yeah, so here's a big one. This is the one I have. This is a big one for $85. If this one works and it's only 13, that's pretty dang good. Under desk mount, he's just selling the mount probably. $82 instead of 100 some bucks. So anyways, the Stream Deck, it's this thing. It's a bunch of buttons and it runs some software on your computer, right? Mac or PC. And couple things that are awesome about it. It's not just for streamers, even though like this is my stream thing. So all those little effects that I hit and the camera changes, I put all that on here. But under normal times, this is what I have. And besides having a couple, these are Home Assistant things. So this one opens my shades. This turns the fan on and off. I've got a couple of lights in here. It turns on and off. These will open websites. So this will open a website for the Home Assistant in the house. This will open the website for the Home Assistant up at the Hobbit house. But the new and awesomest thing is that there is now a WLED integration into this. So you can now, with WLED, all you have to have is the IP address of your device. And you can open a preset. You can toggle it on and off. Or you can set a scene. The scene is basically a preset, but this thing stores all the information, not the preset. So it will, if you put the IP address in here of one of these devices, now it will give you all the possible effects. Okay. And you can pick the palettes. And you can even set the brightness. And there you go. Now, if I click this button, you guys can't see it, but it changed. It doesn't like it, but it changed. Here it is. And it's not showing it here, but it's there. I'm looking at it. I didn't pick a very good effect, but anyways, that's the idea. The cool thing is the Stream Deck has that. Anyways, fun, cool stuff. Okay. WLED added a Stream Deck. That is awesome. It is awesome. Yes, it is. Homegrown one from PCBWay. I have not yet set up. Oh, really? The Stream Deck thing? I wish you'd never done the update. Sorry, man. Where can I find plans for the LED sphere? Jordan, very good question. Let's do two things right now. One, John, let's get you in here for the last like 30 minutes or so. And then the answer, Jordan, to your question is what we've done is made the plans available to Patreon supporters mostly. You can, if you do the YouTube membership, we'll also share them with you. But the YouTube membership is not as good for us as Patreon. You know, YouTube keeps a lot more of the money, so it's better to do Patreon because they give us more of the money. So on Patreon, if you join Patreon, you have access to all the plans, the version 1 and the version 2, and anything else that we come up with in the future, and not just the spheres, but everything else. So. John, how do you want to do it? Here he is. Okay, ready? This is the sound that it makes every time I join a Discord chat. So you all know if like you're in a Discord chat and you hear this sound, you know it's me. Hey, bud. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Great. Let me get you popped out here so everybody can see your beautifulness. Let me check this. You can talk about whatever you want. You want to talk about animatronics for a second first, and then you go some V2, whatever, man. I'm game. All right, let me see. Let me make sure that you can be heard. Can John be heard? Is everybody? Oh, nope. I don't think anybody hears him. So let's fix that.
Anybody yet?
Not yet. Give me a couple more clicks. How about now?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Fixed it. All right. There he is. You see what you see over there in the corner? That's it. This is our latest funness.
This is just a quick shout out to Bot Tango. We're really excited about this, right? Because we have a whole bunch of things that we are wanting to do, and one of them requires us to know how to control motors elegantly, right? We know how to control them via Arduinos and stuff like that, but to control them elegantly is a different matter altogether. So we started looking around, and my friend at work, he's like, "Hey, you should check out Bottango. It's a really cool software." And what it is a animatronics controlling software, and it kind of works just like um, video editing and xLights. Well, maybe not xLights so much, a little bit of xLights, but video editing in particular, where you actually say, "Here's a keyframe, and at that keyframe, I want this position of the animatronic to be right here." Okay, and then you advance it some predetermined time that you want, and then you say, at this time, you set another keyframe, and you say, "I want it, the position of the animatronic to be at this position," and then it goes and calculates the inverse kinematics of all the positions, and it creates a motion for the animatronic. So this was a kit that we bought from Bottango, and just barely released it somewhere probably end of summer time frame. So we got it. We've had it for months and just haven't had a chance to build it. And finally, I took some time because I was terrified of editing a video. So I was trying to procrastinate the things that I should be doing, and I started this project. So this guy his name is Maxwell, and he is an animatronic parrot. And he's all tethered up, so I got to be careful. But he has a servo motor for the jaw, for his beak. He has a servo motor for the angle of his head, so it can go up and down. And then he has a servo right here that can control his head left and right. And then there is an animatronic motor for the wings back here. It controls the wings, and it allows them to go in and out. Okay. So I didn't design it, but one of the reasons I bought this was I wanted to learn how people, mechanical engineering is my business, right? It's my job. But I love when people hook motors up to things and make them move, right? That's kind of like the sweet spot for me. So I love to see how other people make things move. So anyway, I got it built up, and it does a really cool thing. It does the first project that you do is this first, you basically hook it up to the software, which is really, before we go to that, let me tell you. So it runs on an Arduino with a custom, can you probably can't see that, but let me move over here a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. So it runs on an Arduino with a custom breakout board for all the servos, and it's it can be controlled. You can download all the controls or all the instruction onto the Arduino and have it be its own self entity. Doesn't need to be hooked up to the computer. Right now, this is hooked up to my computer, and I'll show you why in a little bit. I think that's it. So then let's show you. This is the first project you do is you hook it up to this and you hit play. And let's get the camera a little bit closer.
Does it make sound? It must make sound out of the PC.
Yeah.
Does it? If you make it so that it's not tethered to the PC, how do you get the sound? Is it from the Arduino? Does the Arduino output sound? I don't think so.
That would be a good question. You'd have to have some sort of speaker on it somewhere, that would do the sound for you. Okay, I'm going to hold that nice and steady while I hit play.
can kind of hear the music a little. It's a little something.
Oh, okay.
I think your microphone is doing a really good job of blocking out the background sound. And
Yeah.
considers the audio background sound. Straight on, it looks kind of scary. It looks a little Five Nights at Freddy's from the front.
Sorry, Justin, I couldn't hear you. The music was so loud in my room. What were you saying?
Nothing. I said from the front, it looks a little Five Nights at Freddy's. It looks a little scary, like a Skeksis or something.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much the gist of this, right? You can control it via like positioning it manually, not manually, but by manipulating the software to do that. But I also recently got it hooked up to my old Google Stadia controller because it's not doing anything now. So let's see if I can get that working.
That's a free Google Stadia controller now, right? Because didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They refunded us.
Yeah.
I don't even know where mine is.
So I've got it all. I think I got it all hooked up now.
Okay.
So I just basically I've got his head hooked up to this joystick, and then the beak is hooked up to the right trigger, and then the wings are hooked up to the other joystick. So
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
There's the wings, and then there's the jaw.
Can't see the jaw as much from the side. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, that's awesome.
Up and down. And then yeah.
Dude, that works really well.
Oh yeah.
It's like instant.
Yeah, it is. And I can record it, right? So if I get good at this, controlling them, instead of like manually creating all the keyframes, I can just say record, and I want it to do this. You know?
can just sit there with your controller and do the thing.
Yep.
How well does it? So if you have because obviously you said it's like a video editor or something where you've got a timeline, you've got an audio track, and then you just put the different positions in the different spots on the timeline. How well does it figure out what it's supposed to say? Like open its mouth and close its mouth. Does it do anything with like the lyrics or the sound?
There is. Right now, I haven't dived into that too much, but I believe, as I was reading through some of the documentation, that it does do a bit of automated mouth control. Like if you say, I want to have it sing this song, you can say, hey, it'll look at the waveform and think that's how it should move its mouth. So I haven't done that yet, but I think that should be pretty easy and probably pretty good for most things. So there is some intelligence to the software. It's not just, pluck in and make sure everything is working.
Good.
So, but I think in the most part, like if I were going to do, I probably could just record just one thing, right? So like I could record the voice by doing the trigger, and that might be really fast and easy, right? So I'm super excited to play around with this. And this is part of a bigger project, right? We started small on this project because we have some much larger projects that we're anticipating. So
here's mine. I want to show mine for a second, okay? I'm going to block you out just briefly, John.
Okay.
This is what it looks like when you get it. I have not put mine together yet. How long did it take you to put yours together, John?
I would say it took me about 3 hours.
Okay. Does it sound like a maybe a couple of the 12 streams of Christmas? Maybe I could build this as part of that.
You definitely do a good chunk of it. That's for sure.
Well, I might break it up over a couple streams.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to do.
Okay, that'd be good. That'd be fun. Give me materials and let me finally get to play with what I've been wanting to play with.
And I've obviously joined the Bot Tango community in Discord, and it is awesome. Like they're super top notch people. Evan is the guy who's writing this software, He is amazing. I don't know when he sleeps, because he always seems to be on and answering everybody's questions, kind of like DrZzs.
I was gonna say
So
that sounds familiar. That sounds like you.
yeah, yeah. So like the community is amazing, and it's awesome. I've seen people do some crazy stuff, and so yeah, the animatronics is super fun, and we've got some big projects that we're hoping to execute for Halloween of next year.
That would be amazing. Let's hope we can do it.
Yeah.
Um, do you want to say anything about V2? Did you want to? Yeah, it's
Not
probably
really.
not accessible.
There's not really too much updates on that, but it's like the
It's done and it works.
it works, and it works well. And I filmed a little bit of it yesterday, and it's really cool. Like I really like it. Um, my biggest stumbling block is I don't really know how to utilize it. I can build it, but to really
Now
make
what do I
that
do with it?
thing shine and sing, like it really needs people that know animations, know how to do the controls. Like I'm a noob to WLED and a extreme noob to xLights and stuff like that. So I know enough just to put a video on it, and that's great. But to really make this thing shine, where it's gonna need some real knowledge of xLights and the animation sequencing.
Yeah. Well, for everybody's information, our goal is get this video done. Get the V2 video done, get it out there, and then hopefully that will get some people to want to build one. And the more people that have them, the easier it will be to share ideas about what looks good and how to use them. Right? Because
Yep.
I agree, we're in the same boat. And I've got an 8-foot sphere in my backyard. I could put some stuff on it, but really maximize the cool factor takes, kind of a community, a lot of brains together
Yeah.
to make it even better.
Yep.
So,
Exactly.
and I was
We need the
hoping,
brain power behind it all.
I could turn on I put a camera out back, but it's giving me grief here. I don't think it's connecting. I probably got to charge it. Things don't charge so well when it's snowing and, oh yeah. Well, but for some reason I got to really fix this.
Yes. Rambozo, the Enchanted Tiki Room 2.0. Can you imagine having like 64 of these things?
I can imagine
Exactly.
this on top of it. Like, I want to hollow this thing out and put this skin of this dragon on my Maxwell, so he can have, so he's got like a rubbery skin and mouth open and close. Like, once we learn how to do the animations and the mechanical parts of it and the control parts of it, now you dress it up in whatever outfit you want.
Yeah, exactly. There's some really cool stuff. We're gonna get into some crazy fun projects, and doing like getting that dinosaur, the dragon, to open and close his mouth will be awesome, and will require really cool, fun projects. New knowledge. We gotta acquire new knowledge.
Acquiring new knowledge. Awesome.
Uploading.
Well, good work, John. Thanks for everything on the V2, by the way.
Yep. I'm excited to see what the community does with it. I know a couple people have purchased the files, and now the instructions for the V2, they're really not, well, let's just call it what it is. They're non-existent. There's some basic instructions to get started, but there's going to be some questions. So we make a new section in Discord that's the Atlas V2 that is like build log or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, that's not a bad
But
idea.
anyway, my point is if you guys are building it, let us know. right?
Yeah,
We
we'll
want to
work with
know
you.
how it's going, how I can make things better for everyone else as well. So
So John was the first one to build one. I still haven't printed mine. I haven't 3D printed it, so I haven't started building mine, but I have the lights and the stuff to do it. But the first few people that also want to build one are going to benefit greatly from what John's experienced. So, well, yeah, I think Discord's a great idea. That's the place to do something like that. We can all kind of learn it together, or
yep, yep,
make the process better together. So,
yep, exactly.
awesome. Thanks for
Cool.
giving me a break from talking too. I was like doing so much
Anytime,
talk,
Ken.
I was kind of losing track of what the heck I was talking about.
This is awesome. I love this. We have an awesome community.
We sure do. We sure do. All right. Anything else,
Okay.
John?
I think that's it. Any questions for me, guys?
Yeah. Any questions while we got Gers here? I guess that's no.
Okay. If there are, I'll be
You're
sticking
around
like,
anyways, right? You're around. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye. All right. Let me. Boop. And then we'll just go in here and see if there's any more questions. So the nursery school put some new lights up. Are they doing like Christmas lights? Link for Hunter? Is that what they're doing? Shining a bunch of Christmas lights? Why is he afraid of video editing? I'm afraid of video editing too. I'll tell you, I think what happens is, or what has happened to us is you have a couple of not super popular videos, and all of a sudden you doubt, do I know what I'm doing? That's kind of where it's at. Like, we did a couple of projects we thought were really good and fun, and we obviously didn't make the videos in a way that was super appealing. We did a thing on the treadmill that was not something anybody really got excited about. We did the cloth-inator thing, the get me the thing-inator thing, the arcade barrel, and then we really spent a lot of time and such on the hippopotamus, the riding the hippopotamus things, but they just weren't very popular. And it's okay. Like, I think John and I have enough confidence in ourselves as far as our ability to make awesome projects, and we don't have a problem being intimidated by people. But when you spend that kind of time and that kind of resources on something, and then it just kind of flops, you just wonder, okay, how do I better spend my resources and my time? So that's it. But we'll get it done. It'll be good. I mean, the sphere came out really good. The sphere video came out really good. It could be, part of it was probably that it was a more popular topic generally. We hit the timing well with the Las Vegas sphere and all that. So, and because that video had a decent audience, I think the version 2 video is also going to have a decent audience. The big catch for the V2 is that it's you can make it. You can 3D print the parts and you can make it yourself. I don't think a lot of people will make them, but the idea that you could and you watch how it's done is probably appealing. So that's what we're going for. All right. Any last questions? We're going to get ready to sign off here, I think, in just a few moments. Howls Wolf says, having a hard time updating ATHOM bulbs to the latest WLED. My first thought, Howls Wolf, is what processor are they using? Are those ATHOM bulbs, are they an ESP8266 or are they a 32? That may be one thing. I have not played with the ATHOM bulbs. Any pictures of the V2? We showed it, Jordan. We showed it. Right now, I think he's got it set up in a way that he couldn't get it. See you, John. He's got it set up in a way that he could not get to. Ooh, are they using WLED or are they using test mode? I guess they probably have both. I think he's got it set up. Yeah, you can. Oh no, Tasmoda not. Well, that may be part of it. Is it WLED or is it Tasmoda? Well, you say it's running. It's running 13. Sorry, you already said that. WLED 15 watt color bulb. 8285 chip. So there you go. That's probably the problem. So the 8285, you can use the 8286. Yeah, so when you're trying to upload it, Housewolf, you're using the 8266 version of 14? Oh, there you go. And Jordan, there's a live stream with the title Spheres, Spheres, and More Spheres. And that shows the version 2 sphere. There you go. Wait till you get to a new apartment before you start buying smart devices. Good idea. Smart devices in the apartment, you always got to be kind of leery a little bit about what you can change, what you can't change in an apartment. Says to use B2. I do not know. Sorry, my man. The 2 megabyte flash. You were trying to use it for beta 2? I don't know, sir. I'm sorry. I wish I could help you. Oh, there you go. Will with the save. Way to go, Will. Will with the save. Will says it needs the ESP02. And my guess is it's because of this flash memory bit. Oh, Will for the save. Nice job, my friend. Will Elliott. So he says you use the WLED 14 ESP02 bin.gz for the Athon bulbs. Just ran into that myself. Yes, that's what the community does. Oh yeah. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Let's do the thing where we call the kids in and say bye for the day. What do you think, guys? I think that was a pretty successful stream. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Let's check in on the Hoobit house. Man, that battery is just not getting charged up enough. Not fast enough anyways. Still declining. It shouldn't be declining. Oh, so this is, I don't know if the generator is really running. I think maybe the generator is not charging the battery. Oh, that's going to suck. If the generator is not charging the battery, we're in trouble. It really should be going up. I may be making a trip to the Hobbit house sooner than I expected. It's kind of leveled out. Maybe it's charging. I don't know. Crap. Okay, let's call the kids.
It's time for sign off.
Oh, that's loud.
It's time for sign off. It's time for sign off.
Oh my goodness, that's loud. Did you try the bin.gz? Did you try, How's Wolf, did you try the bin.gz? I think the GZ thing is smaller. There you are. Can you see yourself? Your face hurts?
No, we just played VR.
Oh, you guys playing VR?
Your hands are so cool.
Oh, okay. How should we sign off? You girls are so big. Do you remember when you were just little babies and we were doing this?
Yeah.
We were talking about it. It's been like 6 years. 6 years of doing all this live streaming. That's a long time, man. Okay. Sign off like we're just excited. How about that?
For Christmas.
Or for Christmas. Want to sign off like
For
Santa Claus?
Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
For Christmas.
Okay. Did I make it just in the last second to say go blue? Go blue. Did
Go
you see
blue.
Justin Z? We're doing Alabama. Going to play Alabama January 1st. I can't think of a team I would
Quiz.
rather not play. would much rather. I know that they barely snuck in there, and it's kind of hard to put Texas behind Alabama when Alabama got beaten by Texas. But I would rather play Washington or Texas, certainly Florida State before Alabama. But here we are. So we got a month to prepare. All right, you ready? Like Santa Claus?
As always, thanks for watching. Until
Till
next
next
time,
time,
adios.
Is that good?
I'm a little elf.
All right, everybody. Thanks. Adios. We'll be back. I'm pretty sure next week we should be good. All right. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, Felicia.
Uh,